Oh man, I don't own the rights to this. I don't own the rights to this, but you know, when you getting started, you know, you had that hype music, kind of get you going a little bit. I remember back in the day, you know, when I was still actively involved in sports and different things like that. You know, I used to have this thing, especially I remember this from my days, little short little college stint I had, you know, at this JC. And you know, we used to get dressed, man. It was we was hyped about it at the time. You know, had turf field and everything like this was when first, you know, artificial turf really, you know, first became, you know, popular. It was a big thing back then. Like, you know, it came out in the early 80s or whatever, like 70s, early 80s. You know, it was a real popular thing. Like, woo, you know. Oh, well, hold on. Let me backtrack. Hold on. Hello, I'm your host. I go by New. It's real simple. I'd like to thank you. Welcome for checking out No Fan Sports Podcast, man. This is what we do. Um, what I try, what I think like my theme, my real theme is, man. We want to get the locker room back, man. We want to get the locker room back and just talk about sports. You know, like, you know, barbershop or just some honest sports opinion. This is No Fan. You know, no matter who you may like, your hero or whoever he or she may be, we still critique their game without, you know, necessarily saying it has been per se, you know, but um, it's like nobody's uncheckable. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we do. Also, make sure you like hit the like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff too, and check out the DMs. You can follow me on, you know, naturally on the most common local DMs and different things like that. And most importantly too, we're doing a book, man. We're doing a book. It's called "The Evolution of the Black Quarterback." We're putting it out. Should be available June 10th at the Urban at the Hustle and Grind Urban Literary Convention here in Detroit, June 10th. Um, if I haven't added it to the subscription description, I'll put it in there. The address, the event, great event, one of the largest, if not the largest, urban book fair in the United States. Not just here in Michigan, but in the United States. Period. You know, wonderful author. She goes by Michelle Moore, and there's gonna be a whole bunch of other authors there. You know, here at No Fan, we go. You know, like I said, man, I said this before. You can't hide it in the book on us, no matter what the content. You know, we go find it. You know what I'm saying? But uh, fast forward. Oh, let me get this out the way too, because I did. You know, let me hit these disclaimers. You know, the views of No Fan Sports Podcast is providing this podcast as a public service, but it's neither a legal interpretation nor a statement of No Fan Podcast policy. Reference to any specific or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by No Fan Sports Podcast. The views expressed by the guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply endorsement of them or any entity they represent. Views and opinions expressed by myself are those of my own and do not necessarily reflect the view of No Fan Sports Podcast or any of its officials. And also, let me hit this fair use disclaimer real quick. Fair Use Act disclaimer, copyright disclaimer under the Section 107. The Copyright Act 1976 allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, so now we got that out the way. So I had to do my research on this one. I had to do my research on this one. Uh, you know, it's been a big thing about Angel Reese. I'm not late, just wanted to get here when I don't want to get here on this particular topic. Um, Angel Reese, they made a big thing about her doing the little "you can't see me" wave and the ringy and wave, and then she spoke on it, and I loved her commentary on it. I mean, she beautiful African young lady, um, African American young lady. And you know she proud of herself. She proud of her culture. You can tell by her comments, and you can see the emotion that was in her heart when she spoke so heavily about that. Um, and I commend her for that. one of these days, if I ever get a chance, I would love to interview her and speak with her on that particular, not just on that matter, but just sports period. I think she's a strong individual. Um, and she's a true queen out there. And she spoke on taking a lot of flack from the gesture itself. And I really hadn't paid much attention to it. I caught on to Caitlin Clark a little late in the season. But as I started picking her up and watching her, man, my goodness, that young lady be doing it. She's a beast out there. True indeed, as well as Angel Reese. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I had chose. I thought South Carolina was gonna repeat. I just didn't see nobody doing that with them, man. Them two young ladies, Boston and the other young lady down in the post, and they played defense. I just didn't see it happening. But I guess, and I was busy. I didn't watch the whole game, but from what it looks like, they just missed some shots. I ain't gonna say they took what's the name lightly, but they missed some shots, and um, that's what really got them up out of there. But not to say that the opposing team didn't play equally as well. They played their hearts out too, just the same. Caitlin Clark and them, they played their hearts out. That was the whole thing to try to stop Caitlin, and she's proved to be unstoppable. But here's the thing. So okay, so let's backtrack a little bit more. So like I said again, I'm trying to figure out where this whole Jester thing come about. And I didn't know what it meant until, things popped out. So we go trace it back to the ancestor. The ancestor comes from a man, Tony Yayo, rapper with a G Unit back in the day. You Can't See Me at a track out there. But the funny thing about it, when I did a little research behind it, come to find out, he just kind of stumbled upon the move himself. He said he was actually on the run from the law during that time. Realistically, in real life, he was on the run. But he and his brother look alike, so he was actually using his brother's passport, I guess, to travel the world. This is documented. He spoke on it. You can find the clip on YouTube, link on YouTube, and various other outlets out there that he speaks on this. And he shouts out my man John Cena. Now this is where it's more current now, because I guess, and I'm not a big proponent of wrestling. I don't watch much of it, but apparently my man John Cena, that was his thing. You can't see me. You can't see me. Now here's his aberration from Tony Yayo's little movement, but it's still the mother, the home of where it came from. So now we fast forward, man. We got these two female basketball teams, man. NCAA going championship head to head. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I said I wanted to take back the locker room, and this is one of the things that we do here at No Fan. Man, we want to take back the locker room, have some honesty. It's actually, I've always kind of followed and watched women's basketball, both collegiately and when it became professional. Um, I have no problems with it per se. I know what I'm gonna get out of it. You not go get a lot of the high flying stuff that you go get out of men's basketball, but a lot of what you will get is some of the old, not old, but a more physical brand of basketball that's gonna be played. You go get a lot of bumping and grinding. That's how it used to be with the men's basketball, especially on a professional level. But in women's basketball, you go get a lot of bumping and grinding, some old school plays. You go have that 4-on-5 or 5-on-5 matchup, depending on who you play. You got a dog center, got a dog at power forward, got a dog at small forward, got a dog at shooting guard, you got a dog at the point guard, or at least four. You got 4 dogs on the field. You know what I'm saying? I'm not using that term dogs. Speaking of women's basketball, we know the other term for. I'm just talking about the mentality. And this is what this podcast is about. This podcast is about trash talk, man. And it, this is a part of the game, and it's always been a part of the game. It's just as it's been commercialized and has been had the ability to sell and create so much revenue. the powers that be, like they always do, they try to commercialize things to get the most money that they can pull out of these things. And lots of times, depending on who the character may be, the trash talk might not be viewed upon as a smart or likable gesture or move or conversation. And then, depending on who the other character is, it's viewed and overlooked like it's no big thing, just a warrior, or just somebody just being, fighting, had a fighting spirit or whatever, you know and this is how these things get viewed sometimes, right? So, and this is the picture that played out with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, you know, and like I said, to me, it's trash talk, man. This is the game. They just so happen to be one player was white, one player was black, but this is the game, man. If you're a true warrior, whatever sport that you are that you play, you have some that don't talk. Don't get me wrong. You got a lot of players out there that play the game. They play the game and don't open their mouth. They let others speak. This is just not their makeup. They don't do that. But for those who do speak, like myself, and those who ever played any type of organized sports or sports with me, period, at any level, anywhere, I'm very vocal. I was very vocal. You know, that was my MO. I'm gonna speak it. I like to think I walked it like I talked it too, though. But yeah, I'm gonna be very vocal. So it was entertaining to me. So when I see these two young ladies going back and forth, and I seen the gesture, they was like, okay, well, Caitlin Clark had been doing this. She sounded like she'd been doing this gesture, but all of a sudden, the table's turning. Now it's a bad gesture. It's so bad now to the point that the president's wife, the first lady, you know, she wants to invite the winning and losing team to the White House, which has never been done before. Reason being, um, do we have to talk about that? Y'all don't want me to talk about that. I hit that at my point counterpoint to a certain extent, and I ain't gonna go too heavy onto it. But we like to think we go keep it 100. Um, we go keep it 100, but always stay on code. This is my point counterpoint. We'll keep it 100, but we go always stay on code when we get to things like that, because we know why she did that. It was about making a certain group of people comfortable. She wanted to make sure they were comfortable. And this is somewhat similar to, and competition wise, you can look back at the 79 NCAA championship between Michigan State and Iowa State, um, with Magic Johnson against Larry Bird. It was a black and white thing, man. I don't care what anybody said. It was black. It was black as it could be white. And speaking on Indiana State, man, I'm gonna do a podcast, and we hope y'all get a chance to check it out. I'm gonna talk about some collegiate stars, man, that put universities on the map. Not the university putting them on the map, but the actual players putting the universities on the map. Also, don't forget, like I said, we dropping that book. Hit them like buttons and subscribe and all that. Get them alerts up there when I go live. But got the book coming out, The Evolution of Black Quarterback. Doing it June 10th at the Hustle and Grind Urban Literary Book Convention. Look Literary Convention in Detroit, man, over on Franklin over there. Um, Check out the links, the address and everything be in the description. I'm gonna be there myself, along with several other authors out there, just trying to, you know, supply entertainment to the world. You know, some people seek that as their destiny. This is how they form entertainment. But this is one of the largest urban book fairs in the country, if not the largest. Definitely the largest in Michigan, though. Okay. Um, but that's basically what this is. So you got trash talking this white back. So back to Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Um, it was a phenomenal, black against white type of collegiate affair. It couldn't have got no better. And in hindsight, whether people want to view it as a racial issue or not, um, it was one of the. It also transcended into the NBA. When they met in the NBA, You know, they went from college going against each other head to head, went to the NBA. Man, you picture the magnitude of the level of these guys that had on the game of basketball. They met head to head in the collegiate final. They met head to head several times on a professional level, and each of them winning for their respective teams. You know, except for Magic naturally got the nod on Larry from college, but um, and these are two of the, as far as I'm concerned, they gonna always be in my top five. I don't care who come out. You know, this is what you watching today. There would be no NBA without Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. It's just that simple. Like who you like, but it's just that simple. You know, so you had the Caitlin Clark and the Angel Reese thing. But here's the thing. I'm not doing this podcast to beat up on Caitlin Clark or to talk about uh, possible culture vulture activity in John Cena. You know, who seems like a pretty cool dude. I don't know. I'm not going to call him a culture vulture, but he gave respect and homage to where it came from. You know, and that's one of the things with, especially with music. You know, is when certain vibrations hit the soul. Um, your skin tones and different things like that really don't matter. You know, it's a vibration. You know what I'm saying? You get it. So I'm not shitting on my man Cena either. You know, like I said, most importantly, we not dumping on Caitlin Clark. I actually love Caitlin Clark. I would like to meet her too, both her and Angel Reese. You know, maybe they can carry this activity over to the WNBA and resurrect. I ain't gonna say resurrect the WNBA, but um, a lot of people are liking this women's finals to really sparking more interest in the WNBA. But ironically, it's funny too. Um, I think so I wasn't sure who asked her this, but a reporter asked Angel Reese in regards to her going to the WNBA, and she clearly said she's fine. Playing in college right now. As a matter of fact, she make more money now than she would be in the WNBA. And I was like, whoa, I'm thinking about. I said, I forgot. Bam, those NIL deals. So I looked her up. I think she was at almost a half million prior to the NCAA championship game. And that you hit that anyway. um, uh, she was already almost a half million in earnings from NIL deals prior to the championship, and since then it's gone up to almost $1 million. I think she's like 825, eight something. You know what I'm saying? So she's making plenty money in college. Now, this is the funny thing, I meant to do a little bit more research on this, or some research on it. I'm not sure what the revenue looks like coming in with the WNBA. Are they really suffering? Are they getting along? Are they getting by? How it's going? Could the women players actually be capable of making more money? But at the end of the day, it's not just necessarily on the WNBA as an organization. We talking about a fan base too, and popularity, and putting seats in the fans. Let's just keep it real. I would like to see, uh, and maybe it's gonna happen now because of the money that Angel Reese is making off of her NIL deal. Maybe it is going to have to force the WNBA to raise the payout for some of these young ladies out there. However, the money comes in, I'm not sure. Can it be done? But like I said again, you still have to have uh, your numbers. You still have to have numbers. No different than anything else. If you want to do a live, if you want to do a podcast on YouTube, you don't have enough numbers, they won't let you do it. You got to have your numbers. You got to gain some popularity with that. So, we'll see how that plays out. But I'm very excited for. I'm happy for any other young lady that's out there that's, and men, young men as well. All them amateur athletes that was being taken advantage of by using their names and likeness, and the university was just making out like bandits. And the only argument was we give you a free education. Education ran you about 100 and a half, 200, depending on where you're going, and depending on what time this was. But at the end of the day, man, them universities, most universities, especially in sports or football, the football program, the football program carries them universities. That's what keep them boys pumping. Outside of sponsorship or donorship from the former alumni, it's them sports programs. And especially football is like number one at most major colleges and universities, or any college or university that has a football program. That's their bread and butter right there. That's what brings in the money. For them to be able to continue to exist. You know, so but maybe this will push that pay up a little bit. But most importantly, I thought it was exciting. I thought it was real exciting. Very intriguing. It was great for the game. For us. Not that I felt that women's basketball, any women's sport, is hurting, because I've always followed them. I've always watched them. I used to love watching women's tennis, not just because of the way the young ladies look. There's some very cute young ladies out there. Um, but it was just the game, you know, the game, the way it was played, you know. Um, so just bringing hold on one second. Hold on, I got you. One second. Give me one second. What was her name? Uh, I can't think of her name right now. Young lady used to play tennis back in the day. I used to be, oh my goodness, I used to be on her. I can't find it. It'll come to me later. But nonetheless, the trash talk is part of the game. And I brought up Larry and Magic because um and you've seen many former NBA players who played against or with Larry Bird. They'll tell you Larry Bird was one of the greatest trash talkers in NBA history. It's a clip that's floating around out there, and please, man, if y'all hear this and this come across, man, I'm not name dropping and trying to get no clicks for this. I just respect your work, because I understand that people say cats be out here name dropping, trying to get some feed or whatever. I do this because I love. I don't do this for attention. I do this because I actually love the sports, the way it was played, the integrity of the game. Um, and I was just like to see, the bruteness, if that's a word, but the brutality of the game. Whichever competition level. I think today's game has just gotten too uh, participatory, whatever. Even if that's a word, we can make. You got participation trophies now, and I think you got that right now currently with the NBA, this play-in tournament thing. Man, if y'all not good enough to make it, man, the season over with. No play-in tournament. This is crazy, but this is where we at now as a society, and with sports and everything. This is why we do this here. This is why we do this in No Fan. You know, this is why we do this in No Fan, man. Can we get the locker room back? You know, can we get the locker room back? You know, look, like I said, man, we always try to keep it 100, man, but we're gonna stay on code. You know, um, acting like racism and the issue of black and white, man, acting like that stuff don't exist, and we just keep looking over, no matter how much diversity we claim we see on television and commercials and um, in real life or whatever. This is just an issue, man. It's always been an issue. And the quickest thing that most people like to do is just kind of brush it under the rug and act like it doesn't exist or it's no longer an issue. But it's been an issue as long as I've been alive, and apparently others prior to me. How it became an issue, I don't know. I just know it's an issue. Um, but at the end of the day, it's sad that even in light of the sports, man, it was trash talk, man. It was trash talk, and it should have been viewed as trash talk on both accords. It's just that simple. Like I said, I ain't gonna keep it too heavy because we be all day with this. I'm your host. I go by New. Like I said, hit the like, subscribe button. Um, and again, we got the book dropping, and look, man, the book, the cover, man. I think this cover is gonna be so out cold. And I'm working with a colleague, former coworker, that's putting this thing together for me. Man, it's a collab, man. It's cold. And the funny thing about it, when I mentioned the title to him, he hit me back spontaneously, man, and dropped some fire. And I think the cover is gonna be out. The cover is real dope. But the book gonna be dope too. You know, I think the book gonna be dope. Um, digging things up, checking out a little research, and not real heavy, but we'll be able to read and understand and respect the work that's been put forth, and the information that's been drug out, and the opinions that was formed, and even some of my own what they call them exportes growing up, admiring the sport. This project was inspired. It was inspiring, and it just dropped on me. I didn't think I was gonna be able to do it or try to do it. Slept on it, man. The next day it was like, bam, I got it. We're gonna try to make this happen. You know, so that's going. Like I said, at the Hustle and Grind Urban Literary Convention, um, June 10th, Detroit. The address and everything should be in the description. If it's not in there, I'm gonna put it in there. You can catch it later. Or follow my YouTube. Just hit my follow them. What is it, them DMs, man? Follow me on the YouTube pages and different things like that. You would definitely see information in regards what's going on with me and the book. The book convention, the Urban Literary Hustle and Grind Urban Literary Convention is coming up here in Detroit in June. And that's what we drop in our book. The evolution of the black quarterback. I think it's gonna be phenomenal. You know, Again, I'm your host. I go by New. Real simple. And yeah, man, look, man, them young ladies was just talking, man. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the gesture, where it came from. Shout out to John Cena. Shout out to Tony Yayo. Shout out to Caitlin Clark. Shout out to Angel Reese. It's a beast. Y'all all walked that gesture down, used it, um, and it did what it did. You gave it life, and it was exciting. You know, it was exciting. It was exciting for me just to chase down where it came from, and I only found out on a whim. You know, where it all came from, but we tracked him down, and everybody, it was just great. I thought it was great for the game, great for women's basketball, great for entertainment. It was very exciting. I hope they get a chance to play each other next season or to meet again somewhere along down in either a head-to-head game um, or on the scheduled game or meeting the NCAA bracket next season. I mean, that'd be great. I think And shout out to the women, young women at LSU and Coach Milky. Man, she's phenomenal. She a beast out there. One of the best female basketball coaches, in the game, and she's a beast out there. They did a good job over at LSU. That's great. First, I think this is the first championship of any kind at the university. I'm not sure, but yeah. Okay. But yeah, like I said, hit the like button. Check us out. Um, we gonna be out here. We're trying to put these things to check out my sponsors, my sponsor. I think we're gonna be back with Sexy Black Entertainment too, um, in the near future as a sponsor. So it's a lot of things happening, man. We trying to make this stuff go. You know what I'm saying? And I'll holler at you, man. Again, I go by New. We talk later. Peace.